morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Monday the 19th of July. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 31,794 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 32,478. Going to need to see plenty of support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 32,000 levels. So barring an extended rally on, they expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 32,453 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin target 33,500 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 33,137. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 31,136 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should continue to avoid sub 30. Second major support level at 34,553 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we have a narrowing of the bullish histograms at the turn of the day, so look out for a possible bearish cross through the morning. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled back marginally from the 100 and the 200, so that's still a bearish signal suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 31,794, back through to 32,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels will remain in play. Going across to Ethereum against US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 1922 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 1964. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Ethereum to break back through to 1900 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 1994.40 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ethereum target 2100 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2037. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level 1849 into play. Barring an extended sell on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 1800 levels. Second major support level 1806 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms but no signs of a bullish cross, so that's a bearish signal for the morning. On the EMAs, also a bearish signal with the 50 EMA pulling further back from the 100 and the 200, suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot 1922 back through to 1950 levels to bring that first major resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 120 to bring the first major resistance level at 123 into play. Plenty of support from the broader market is going to be needed for Litecoin to move back through to 120 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on to expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 124.10 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin target 130s before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 128. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 116 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should continue to avoid sub 110s. Second major support level at 112 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we have a widening of the bearish histogram at the turn of the day, so coming off the back of this morning's pullback. So that's a bearish signal. On the EMAs, the 50 continues to pull back from the 100 and the 200, also suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 120 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Finally, moving across to Ripple's XRP against US dollar, also a bearish start. Going to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 5869 to bring first major resistance level at 6016 into play. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.60 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.6011 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ripple's XRP target 0.62 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sets at 0.6158. Failure to move back through the pivot, bring the first major support level 5727 into play. Barring an extended sell on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.56 levels and the second major support level at 5581. Looking at MACDs, we have a bearish cross at the turn of the day coming off the back of this morning's pullback. So that's a bearish signal. On the EMAs, the 50 continues to pull back from the 100 and the 200, also suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 5869 and back through to 0.59 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.